Okay, gang, I got to wrap it up real quick, but I had this thing totally apart and back together and tuned and adjusted and made some changes and all that, blah, 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 but it's done. It is fini. This is the controller. This is the CNC shield on top of a Arduino Uno, I don't know, I think it's an R3. And it's plugged into my laptop, and it's plugged in, is plugged in now to a 12 volt power supply that is about 200 milliamps. That'll make sense to you in a moment, but what I have now is X and Y for a demonstration. We're going to run a little short distance. That is the X going down and back, and there's the Y down and back. Now, the reason I'm not showing you the Z is because you saw it before and it does work, but I had to unplug it because I only have 400 milliamps, and when I do 3 motors, they all crap out. It made me nuts. I thought I did something wrong. Come to find out, they were underpowered. Now, I have a power supply. I bought it for this system, and it's a 12 volt, 10 amp power supply. Takes in AC, sends out DC. So we should be in good shape. But you know, I'm sitting here fussing about power. I forgot all about my triplet. I'd have 5 amps and 30 volts just sitting there, and I dial in the power. I could have plugged that in, but my brain wasn't working very well. Now, what we've agreed to do tomorrow is put in the power supply. I have to wire it, but it's cake, okay. Then retest everything, make sure I can get the 3 axes to run and all that. And then I got a block of wood, which would mimic what I need to do for my engine, right? We want to put this slot in that engine, right? And we did a test part, so I know, I have a cutter and I can do it, but I can't do it by hand. Okay. Then I have a real chassis that needs it done, but I'm going to test it all. I'm going to create the documentation. I'm going to create the part, or actually it's the void. It looks like a part because we're used to 3D printing. And I'll create the part and I'll put it in and I'll line everything up, clamp this down, and I'll test run it and see what I get. I'll show you how that turns out, okay? If that turns out close, then by golly, I'm going to get a chassis, get the wheels off of it, clamp it in there, and we're just going to try one because it's time. This has been too long. Andy has helped me all day off and on. He's still sending me tutorials and things. This guy's awesome. He does tech support in South Africa. We just hooked up. He's big help. So the 3D printed parts, and believe it or not, I have found another method of adapting these motors. I printed this piece that I found. It's a lot bigger, and I might have to cut my wood off. I'll see if it makes sense or not. Right now, I'm okay. It's running. It's doing okay. I had to make some changes. I had to add second hole. You see, I got a few holes in here, right? I had to add holes because what I found was I could not calculate with the ruler and whatnot the spacing. I had to be able to adjust my coupler location and all that once this was bolted up because there was too many variables. And the same with this one. I had to root out. I started too short and had to move back, but I got it. And I had to loosen these beds up because I didn't know what was wrong, but it's not the beds. It was the amperage that was weak, and the motors just couldn't move themselves. They got a weak signal, and it confuses them. They don't like that. They like to get the signal they need, and then they go somewhere, and then they stop. It's pretty neat. I'm confident we're going to be just fine. I swear I am. And if anybody wanted to know, this is a, oh God, Microlux XY table. They range from 100 to 150. I got this one, I think, on sale at somewhere Micro Mart for $99. Without the motors, it was manual. This is just a Dremel. You plug it in, right? The stepper motor, this was left over from a new extruder I got. And these two I bought. And the stepper motors are 10 to 15 bucks. So there's some money in that. 3D printed parts. And the Uno I happened to have laying around. I had 2 or 3 of them. The shield I bought. The Axis motors, these are A4988s. Bought those. And then cabling and stuff. I mean, it's done. That's it. All I had, the hardest, one of the goofiest parts was I had to move these colored wires around to map into what the board did versus what the motor did. You know, they send you the specs on the motor so you could figure out what color does what. Then you just got to match it to what the chip does, and then it just took off like a champ. It's okay. And I'm going to get limit switches. I don't like what I have. It's on a sponge tape and all that. I want to get them screwed in and a good solid stop. I want front and I want top and bottom, right, left, front, back, all 4 sides, because I want to know. I don't want to crash into stuff. I've been doing that a few times already, and it scares me. Okay, don't want to do it, especially when you have printed parts holding things together. But I'm thinking, I don't know, $100 for this. I don't know what this was, 50, 60 bucks. Motor's 15. You know, you can get up to 200 in a hurry, but I don't think it's much more than that. And you got a 3-axis CNC mill that takes G code, and there are multiple ways to get G code in. And then you've got a motor driver that's free that will take that G code and print your part, machine the hole you want made. It's so funny because I'm so used to doing 3D printing. When I make a part now, I think of it as a part, and it's a hole. I'm designing the hole, and then I'm putting it on the part that's solid. It's pretty neat, just a way of thinking and all, but it works. I'm excited. I'm back to where I was 2 days ago. I had setbacks. I was confused. I mean, it's like, I'm not an expert in any of this. I just pick up stuff and read a lot, but you know, I should have realized I needed more power. But you know, 1 motor worked great, 2 motors worked great, put 3 on there. What the hell? I should have told me something, but I'm just not double E tuned, I guess you could say. But today was an interesting day. I had this thing down to every possible screw and all the parts laying on the table. This is just some of the carnage. There's some carnage over here. But we're done. We got it. It's together. It's going to work. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait. So got to be tomorrow's another better day, and I'm hoping by the weekend I got a part made. I'm hoping I can say, here's what I started with, here's what I wanted, and here's what we got now, by golly. And if I get that far, I'm going to put the parts in it and show you how it works. All right. Okay. And then Leon, buddy, I'll get back on your engine. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. I just went berserk. I know. Oh, just terrible. But it's pretty neat. Okay. I'm out of here.